bishop on e4. I have a passed pawn on d6. I'm up the exchange. This should be a win. The key is not to let myself get under 45 seconds on the clock. You can't really afford to lose any more material here. Okay. Can we find an instant win, like rook takes e8, rook takes d4, pawn takes d4, bishop f5. Make sure that works. Yeah. I hope my king is close enough to the center here. With an extra bishop, should be easy to do. So pawn count is equal, and we're going to win a piece for a pawn. He's not going to resign, I guarantee you. He's going to play it out. We will keep his king-side majority in check with the bishop, and should be able to win this. Bringing our own king up, winning his d4 pawn. Was a creative effort. I think further evidence that Dihar is not using a computer. He is a weird player. Alright, let's keep it practical. King centralized. Maybe I'll play g3. If he plays like king g5, no, it's not absolutely necessary to do so. Okay, king e7, bishop c8. I want to stay on that diagonal. c8 h3. I don't mind picking up the b pawn though. This just sort of wins the tempo. So bishop f5 ices it. Yeah, that's good too. This is also. I could take the pawn. I'll definitely take it. Next move if he gives it to me. Is there any reason for me to play g3 here? Bishop takes. Yeah, this is crazy. Alright, what am I even thinking about? I don't know. There's no way this guy has any chances of saving this. Bishop c8. Okay, takes. Man, he's scary. It's like even in this like hopelessly lost position, he was scaring me. I thought like he had a move or something. F3. I think there was one line where I could actually lose there. And he goes F3. There was some losing move. Pretty sure of it. But I don't know what kind of guy wouldn't resign here, man. I don't know. It's really bizarre. In a standard game, really? Maybe he just always plays till mate. Alright. So, huge game. Beat our nemesis there. Dihar. Pick up some rating points. We've been going like nowhere fast. So the ratings. Alright, for everybody who joined me, welcome to the channel. This is going to be like a 3-hour session. We started 45 minutes ago. I'm going to get back in the 15-minute pool. So, interesting game. I mean, this was an extremely unusual plan to play bishop, to play this kind of position with e4. It's very rare. I've played a lot of bayonet attacks with white, with b4 in the main line of the King's India back in the day, and it reminded me a little bit of that. You give up your dark squared bishop with white, and you play just with a full-on white square assault. So that's what happened. It was like a good Benoni sort of pawn sacrifice for white. Thank you, Espresso Forever. I think this week we did Friday and Sunday night, but I'm thinking next week. No, this week we did. Yeah. What was it? Friday and Sunday. I think we're gonna try to do Saturday night next week because it seems like we get more people on the stream with Saturday. I've got to compete with NFL football today, so that's kind of tough. I don't think that hardcore football fans are going to be watching any Twitch streams today. I'd like to see the games myself. But anyway, we appreciate your support for those of you who are here. We'll try to play one more 15-minute game and then maybe take a 5-minute break. We got D Har again. Wow, okay. This is great though. Hopefully we get the line that I played before because I want to repeat it, and he let me repeat it in a blitz game. I'm trying to think what happened last time. So, especially for you, Espresso Forever, this guy is very faithful to his opening repertoire, and he is playing one line of the English that I did work on. So I want to see if this is any good or not for black. Queen d7. Please check out my YouTube videos, video chess training on YouTube. This game, previous loss against D Har, annotated there in depth with like a 40-minute video. We did a post-mortem analysis, well, not the live stream of the game, but a 40-minute analysis of the game itself. Now here, black more or less has to take on c3. It's funny, I mean, e3 is not a move that's regarded very highly by theory, and I'm getting a lot of people playing it, even like IMs and stuff. Actually, d takes c3 is considered to be, by theory, the better move for white in this position. So now, what I did in the other game was f5. But when I did a little bit of research, I found out that maybe b6 is better. But I played a blitz game with b6 against a strong player, and I was thinking that I did something wrong almost immediately in one of my games. But I don't remember now why b6. Well, b6 has to be the right move. b6 is a possible improvement on f5. This move is totally I think basically the same thing he did in the other game where I played f5. Most people don't play d4. I did some research and I found a book that discusses this position by Richard Palliser called like Beating the Flank Openings or Beating Unusual Chess Openings. It's an older book published around 2007. Palliser just totally dismisses this move, d4. But I think that he's wrong to do so. He says that the c4 pawn is really weak, but when I put this on a computer engine, it wasn't so pessimistic about white's position. So I think I analyzed bishop b7, pawn takes c5, b takes c5, rook b1 in the video. And D Har just instantly plays e4. Yeah, okay. So here we have some options. I mean, e5 turns it effectively into like a Nimzo. And it seems like the kind of thing you want to do in this kind of position to keep it locked. We've already seen that moving fast for this guy doesn't necessarily mean he's strong. You know, he just moves fast, even if he's going headlong into like a ton of TNT. you know, once he has an idea, he just plays it instantaneously and focuses on moving fast. So once again, check out this book if you can find it, the Palliser book on unusual chess opening, beating unusual chess openings. A pretty good book. I like the repertoire he gives there, but I mean, I think, you know, there are limitations. There are certain problems. Bishop e3 is a weird move here. No threat. It looks clogged, like the piece actually gets targeted by knight a5. I guess he's just supporting d4, so if I play knight a5, he could play knight d2. I could play maybe knight f6, but I might want to reserve the f6 square for my pawn. Yeah, it's a funny nimza with the bishop on g2. Yeah, it's a good nimza for black structurally. I was thinking about playing f6. It would take away the g5 square from his pieces, but it's a little slow. It's a little weakening, and I just feel like it leaves the ball in his court. I could move my queen. I mean, except that d7 controls a4, so move like queen e7 looks a little slow. c7 is also a square for my queen. Am I gonna put my queen on the queen side? More than likely, with a blockade with knight a5. So it looks a little bit. We're gonna do f6. It's the right color complex for my pawn structure. It's not that easy for him because if he goes like knight d2, he drops his d4 pawn. So it's hard for him to like open the f file, play f4. He has to neglect the center by moving his knight. Queen c2. Okay, yeah, it's feeling kind of random almost, this guy's moves now. Although he's going to put a rook on the d file, and at that point, now it's time, I could play knight a5. If I play knight a5, however, he can play knight d2, and I'm also looking at bishop h3 being a factor for white. If I move my queen away from the white squares, my queen is going to have to move, though, shortly, because he's going to put a rook on d1. And this kind of structure, he might have like valid ideas of like this Botvinnikian like rook d5 in your face kind of exchange sacrifice, positional exchange sacrifice sort of thing. So the rook on the d file, although it has no like access points, might actually have one on d5. I need to develop. Knight e7 is not an aspiring square for the knight, but I don't really have any other options. Although maybe I should just castle queenside now. What do I do? And then is it going to be an issue? Is he going to have like piece sacrifices? Castle queenside now, or knight e7, rook d1. Move my queen and try to castle on the king side. It's going to be awkward when he plays rook d1. It looks like I could play knight a5 as well. Maybe knight a5. Actually, not a bad idea. I was talking about knight d2, but I mean, actually, under all that we've talked, after all that we've talked about here, it seems to me like my least worry is like him playing knight d2. So I'm gonna play knight a5. And the least of my problems is him playing knight d2. I mean, I'm a little worried about the strategic, you know, opening of the position with f4, which is what he did, pretty quick. But at the same time, you know, it's not like he's gonna just crush me or something instantly. We have different kind of possibilities. Knight to e7 now, with the idea of knight to c6. What about bishop a6? Just trying to win a pawn. I'm concerned about my development here. Maybe it's time to castle.